right. Well, okay.
Hello.
All right, we welcome UCLA to the stage. Congratulations. We have Coach Close, along with Lauren Betts, Timea Gardiner, Gabriela Jaquez, and we'll open it up with a question, with a statement from Coach, and then we'll open it up to questions for student athletes.
Thank you to our alumni. I want to first give a shout out. Many people have said it's the first one in NCAA history or UCLA history. It's actually not correct. In 1978, AIAW, they won the national championship and went to the Final Four, and we had some of the alumni here from that team, and Debbie Willie Halliday and Denise Curry, and we had so many other alums, and so I just want to give them their flowers and to say that we are so thankful for the alumni that have supported us along the way, the band, the cheer, the administration, my family, the list goes on, but it takes a village to build a program. If you just don't want a team, but you want a true program that impacts people's hearts first, you don't do that alone. And so I just sit here with great pride and gratitude, and more than anything else, I'm just so incredibly grateful to be able to be a part of their process. They inspire me every day. The way that they commit to give to each other selflessly and sacrificially and intentionally grow and choose a growth mindset. It's not easy. I am one blessed coach.
Questions for UCLA student athletes?
Hi guys, Kendra Andrews, ESPN. This question's for Lauren and for Gabriela. Can you guys, from both of your from both of your vantage points, walk us through that final shot from you, Gabriela, that three-pointer?
Well, basically, like, I think Gabs and I, can they hear me? Okay, Gabs and I pretty much always play off of each other, so that was pretty normal. But I mean, just the moment was so big. Obviously, like, they had been double teaming me as I'm trying to score, and then obviously I just found Gabs, and she stays ready. So I was just so happy for her. I mean, just pure joy.
We talk about if Lauren kicks it out, you got to be a ready shooter, and I just got to stay ready at all times, and I knew that's the right shot I needed to take, and I have confidence in myself when shooting. I put in the work, and yeah, I definitely shot it high because the closeout was there, so me and Lauren were just like, yeah, but we were just really, excited, and just really played confidently out there.
Hey, Lauren, Kurt Sandoval from ABC7. Describe your emotions when you picked up the second foul and you're sitting on the bench and then you're watching your teammates go on a 12-2 run.
Yeah, I mean, I have full confidence in them. Obviously, I'm more mad at myself that I had the two fouls, but I mean, this is what we're talking about when we have a deep team. I mean, I don't have to be in the game at all times. I have a team full of players who are just amazing and talented in their own right, and they put in the work. So I knew that, as I was sitting there, I'm going to be the best team that I can and cheer them on, but they have my back at the end of the day. So.
And Sarah, USA Today Sports. Following up on that for Gabs and Timea, Kim said that the game was lost for them in that second quarter because they couldn't take advantage of Lauren being out. What did you guys say to each other when she did pick up that second foul, and how did you kind of keep them at bay in that quarter?
I think that we just did what we usually do. One person goes down, another person steps up, and as Lauren said, we have a deep team, and everyone is ready when their number is called, and so we truly did that, and we found each other too, and we just played off each other, and we just had fun. Yeah.
Rowan Shaberg the next. Timea, you had 15 points all off of threes. What was working well for you tonight?
Double team from Lauren Betts. Double team and her reads and my teammates finding me. And then my job was to just knock it down. So, yeah.
Gabriela, you have talked a lot about like the last year's loss, how it just left a sour taste and really motivated all of you guys. How does it feel to sit up there with a piece of twine in your hands and having the trophy right there?
Feels great. Since we lost a year ago today, we just really remembered that and we use that as fuel. And our coaches said, which I think is really good to understand, is that, our programs are playing against each other, but they're brand new teams. And so we have a lot of confidence in our team and we've all gotten better. We all grown from that and we've added new members and I'm just couldn't be more proud to be a part of this team.
Eden Lassie, Hoops HQ. To me, I was talking to your dad out there, and he said when you got ready to transfer, like, your heart was set on UCLA. And he said even though you might play a smaller role or something like that, for you to, have gone through this whole season, stepping up when they need you, and then have this moment, was this what you envisioned kind of when you made that decision?
I mean, who doesn't want to win the Final Four? No, but I've had connections with a lot of the players previously, and so I knew. And me and Coach Cori Close, we were really close out of high school when she recruited me, and so I knew I was like, yeah, I'm coming to UCLA. And I think everyone else knew that too. So I'm so happy, to be here and to contribute to the success of his team. And really, though, I'm just so excited to celebrate, and all of our hard work paid off. So.
Ben Balch, Los Angeles Times. Coach, I was talking to Denise after the game, and to your point, the path that she blazed for you. Can you talk about what having her here today means, and just having her around the program all year and kind of inspiring you in a way?
Maybe you guys as players can talk about Denise being a season ticket holder and those alums supporting us, and then I'll comment because I'm supposed to go last.
Yeah, we really appreciate the alumni. They're always supporting us, and we appreciate that so much, just to come out, in Spokane and support us. We understand that it's not easy and you got to take a flight and all the things that go into it. But yeah, it's really important that we remember, our alumni and understand what they have done for us, and we can be succeeding. And they've, like you said, blazed that trail for us.
And I'll come back to it, Ben, when they're done with them.
More questions for student athletes.
Hey, congrats, ladies. Miriam Swanson at the Orange County Register. Gabs, you obviously you came in as a part of a heralded class, and now you guys are going to the Final Four. Just how does it feel?
Feels great. Everyone came to UCLA for this reason, to do something we haven't done in a really long time or in the NCAA era. And so just really proud of my teammates, the staff, the coaches, of just continuing to get better every day and grow from each season prior. And yeah, I just don't even have words, just so proud.
Hi, Ava with the Daily Bruin. I have a question for all three of y'all. How does this feel, especially after such an aggressive game? I know I saw a lot of blood and amongst other things. So how do you prepare with that, especially with that one day? Oh, nice. That one day, difference between Ole Miss and now, and then especially between quarters when you're seeing how much more aggressive it's getting throughout the game.
Lauren, can we start with you?
Yeah, I think we were prepared mentally going into this game that it was going to be a battle, and Coach Cori continued to say that to us every single, day leading up to this game in Ole Miss. She's like, it's going to be a battle. Mentally prepare yourself. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to get it done. And I think, we just have been ready for this. We prepared, we put in the work, and obviously we played LSU last year. We know what kind of team they are, but I just think, a lot of the mental preparation that went into the game, I think it starts with, our coaches and Coach T especially. Just holding us accountable in the film room, making sure that, we take off all of the pressure that's on us and just focus on what we need to do today. And I'm just so proud of everyone and the way they showed up. So,
Timea?
Yeah, Lauren kind of says, no, you're good. Makes my job easier. No, but I think, we all were prepared. We all knew what it was going to take. And at the end of the day, we were just playing for UCLA as a whole. And we got the dub, and I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, they said it, but I would also say how, preparing was pretty quick turnaround. We're used to it. All three of us played in the Pac-12, and we get one-day prep, so it's really nothing new. And our coaches do a great job at preparing us, and just focusing on the scouts, focusing on what we can control on the court, and you can see us succeed.
We have time for 2 more questions for student athletes.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. Lauren, you guys have talked about last year not winning the toughness battle in this game with LSU, and then in the USC games, not winning that toughness battle as well. Do you feel like you guys answered that for yourselves in this game, that you were able to win gritty, when you were pushed to the wall?
I mean, there were lots of things that we could have gotten down about this game. I mean, obviously we had fouls, people, maybe not getting calls or whatever, but I think we were just all, mentally prepared, and we've toughened up since, I don't know, mid-season. Like, we've learned a lot, and I think that as teammates, we just continue to hold each other accountable, and I just think it's worked so much for us. But I think there's obviously been a lot of work that's gone into today, and like I said before, I'm just really proud of our group. We've worked so hard, so yeah.
I guess Lauren or any of you, Miriam with the Swanson with the Orange County Register again. Is any part of you pulling for USC tomorrow?
What kind of question? Yeah. Yeah, no comment.
We don't care who we play.
No comment.
All right, we'll thank these 3 and say congratulations, and when they've left the stage, we'll turn it over to questions for Coach. Congrats.
Thank you guys for waiting, by the way. So I know it was a long wait. Thank you for that.
Cori, I know that you guys are really big on visualization. You do it in practice, you do your mind gym. I'm curious, have you visualized this moment before? Is that something that you've done?
Yeah, I have. But more than anything else, I visualize what it's going to take to get to this moment. And I think that's, for me, all the pressure or all the things that can sort of get in your way lie either in worrying about the past or the future. And so I just really try to stay focused on what I know to be true about the process that will lead us to where we want to go. I do have to give mad props to Coach Tasha Brown. She was so brilliant in our locker room and in our prep, and her and Sam Skinner were in charge of this scout, but she had the team. There was so much going back and forth about, the same 2 teams and whatever else, and that's what they were referring to. And she said, all the returners stand up. And she went through and just blew wind into their sails and spoke life about what they were going to bring, and doing visualization right then. And then she said, stand up if you're a transfer. And then told them each what they were bringing to this game and what she was going to see from them in this day. And then she had the freshmen. And what it became very obvious is that we are a new and different group that had earned a different level of confidence. And we were a stronger whole because of what we had been through together. And I just thought she was incredible, and she's always incredible in that. But I really think there was a mindset. The outside world wanted to make it about the programs going back and forth, and we have so much respect for what LSU has done. Their perennial power. Kim has won more than almost anyone, and so we have total respect for them. That being said, we expected to win, and we looked around that room and we had visualized it, but more importantly, we were committed to execute it.
Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. Congrats, Cori. It's been a long ride for you at UCLA. What does it mean to you that this school has stuck around with you and allowed you to get to this point today?
I remember I texted Dan Guerrero a long time ago, or a few weeks ago, and just said, thank you for taking a risk on me. I had no head coaching experience when I came here from Florida State 14 years ago, and I had a vision, And I believed in surrounding myself with people that were smarter than me and that would be aligned in that vision. But they still had to take a risk on me. And even outside, my boss now is Kenny Donaldson, my direct supervisor. And he was our academic person in my first year. And now he's my boss. But Christina Rivera was here in administration and took a risk on me. And the list goes on and on. You always get yourself in trouble with that. But so humbled and grateful that they would believe in this, kid from Milpitas and that had never been a head coach. And more importantly, believed in our mission for having a total collegiate experience and that to truly invest in young women from the inside out and be committed to that first. And that's not an easy risk to take when someone's unproven. And I'll be eternally grateful for that risk that they took.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. Cori, when Lauren picked up that second foul, what was going through your mind? And when you guys were able to weather that storm, do you agree, like Kim said, that that's where the game was decided, that they weren't able to take advantage of that?
Well, I definitely think that helped us in terms of our confidence level. The other part of that equation, not only did Lauren go out, but we have been really struggling in second quarters. And so we've been having great first quarters and great third quarters. And we were talking to our team, and at the quarter break, we said, okay, here we go right here. What are we going to do different to come out and execute? We have more than enough. And what does it look like to really execute right now? And it wasn't even just about without Lauren. It was like, we want to play better all the way through this stretch. And so I thought they were very locked into what that looked like. And we talked about the adjustments we needed to make and how we needed to go about it. And I think we got, 2 kills in that period of time, which is 3 stops in a row. And that sort of fueled us and got us going with some momentum. I honestly thought the game was won when they came back from, I think we were up 14, I think at one point, when they came back and I think cut it to 5. And I think the game was won in the poise and the choice to go back to neutral, get ourselves refocused and make the next right step. That's where I think the game was won.
Cori, Chantel Jennings with The Athletic, congratulations. I think it's interesting, all 3 of those players are 2022 top 20 recruits that started their careers at 3 different schools and now are all at UCLA.
How lucky am I?
It's every coach's job to sort of bring a group together and meld them into one. This group, though, with the transfer portal and still having a core, I just was curious how much of a challenge that was and how much of a focus that was for you in getting to this point.
Yeah, it's a challenge every year, but specifically this year we had 7 new players and 6 returners. And so how do we become a group that's better together than the sum total of our parts and our talent pieces? And so from the very beginning, it was obvious that we had enough talent, but we said talent was going to be our floor. Our character, our chemistry, our habits were going to be our ceiling. And so really had that be all of our focus all year long was what does it look like to connect the dots, to learn what makes Janiah Barker great, what makes, London Jones great, and how do we help each other be better because we're teammates than anyone could ever do individually on their own. But it's always a commitment for us, but it was, I would say, a greater challenge this particular year. But I remember we went on a team retreat up in Santa Barbara, and I remember the discussions that were surrounding it. And it was interesting, as talented as we are and were, the team really said we're not as confident as we seem. And I remember the night before we played Louisville and Paris, the leadership group got together with Coach Shannon and Coach Tasha and said, hey, we need you guys to blow wind into our sails. We're struggling a little bit right now. And I thought, first of all, it actually takes more strength to say that than it would be to fake it. And now I think about how far they've come, and I think about looking in their eyes when LSU cut it to 5, and to think how far they've come in that commitment and their connectivity and confidence. And I always say you can't give a team confidence. You have to put them in situations where they can learn to conquer hard things and earn the confidence that they want, and they've done that. Yeah, sorry, Ben. I Gotcha. You know, one of the most amazing things, you have two people's numbers that are up in the rafters, and it's Denise Curry and Annie Myers-Drysdale, and they're season ticket holders. I get a text from them almost before every game. Denise is here, and Annie would have loved to have been here, and I got a text from her this morning. You know, it's way better in life to share it with others and to acknowledge that you didn't get there on your own. And I sure did not get here on my own, and we did not get here on our own. And we are so grateful for people like Annie and Denise. They could have said, oh my gosh, you guys are so spoiled, and you know, like if you only knew what we had to do. And that isn't the case. They have celebrated every step. They have been behind us. They've donated. They've showed up. They've believed in our mission. And I don't appreciate them as much today as I do on the darkest days. That's when they showed up in the trenches with me and said, hey, hang in there. We believe in what you're doing, and we're behind you 100%. Those are the times I'll never forget. And to have it from the two people that have their numbers in the rafters, that's pretty special, and I'm humbled and grateful.
Hi, Cori, Kendra Andrews, ESPN. You guys have been a very efficient and dominant team in the paint. And not as much tonight. That was what my question was going to be. What did you think of your team's ability to create offense outside of the paint, and especially those 3-point shooters that you had tonight?
Yeah. If you would have said, hey, you're going to win this game by hitting 10 threes, I would have told you you're crazy. This is the lowest field goal percentage we've had in a really long time. And, you know, but I love it in the fact of that we've always said it's going to be about selflessness and work ethic. And when we had the real lowest point, and I've shared this before, Charlize Ledger-Walker told our team, look, you guys, we lost track just for a second, that we're playing for the 4 letters on the front of the jersey, not on the back. And that was not intentional, and it wasn't major, but she goes, hey, we got to tighten that up. And I'm so proud of Timea Gardiner. 2 nights ago, she had one of her hardest nights. And I mean, it was very uncharacteristic of her. And I wrote her a text yesterday, and I just said, these games, you're the only one in this group who's been in this position. We need you to respond, and we believe in you, and you're going to do big things. And I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, but I was pretty confident she was going to respond in a major way, and she did. But what if she didn't choose selflessness? What if she didn't choose we over me? She wouldn't have responded, and wouldn't have been ready in the way that she did, and she didn't respond to her own disappointment. That takes so much character, and so it's very difficult to do. And they're doing this all publicly, right? Everybody can see they're wrestling. And for her to wrestle through her own chaos and to come in and deliver in such a major way, it's what it's all about, right? And I think that you know, Lauren and Kiki have carried us over and over again. There's no question that they're our big dogs, right? And we rely on them so much. And tonight, like Lauren said, it was sort of, we had to have their backs a little bit. Now, granted, Kiki didn't have the best scoring night, but 8 assists and only 3 turnovers, you know, and so many people. I thought Janiyah actually was really big. Her stat line isn't going to show what her moxie brings us. There's something about what she brings. And so all that to say is, it's a long answer to your short question. I apologize. But, you know, you can make up sayings all the time. You can put stuff on the back of your shirts. You can put it up on the wall. Though I will say we have Believe in our locker room right now, and I am the biggest Ted Lasso fan of all time. But it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't influence behavior. And I'm so proud that sometimes you, sometimes me, always us influenced our behavior tonight.
We have time for 2 more questions.
You'd have time for more if I didn't talk so much.
Hey, Coach. Brendan Potts, World Exposure Report. There was a moment in the third quarter going into a timeout where Lauren stood up and shouted at the bench, motivating them. How does it feel to have that kind of leader in your star player, especially in such a big game like this?
Well, it really all goes back to growth and character, you know, to see Lauren take on a leadership voice. You know, we always say you can never outperform your self-image. And to watch her grow in that from the inside out, and then to see her having confidence that she can influence the team, she can speak her mind, she can play with great passion, she can lead a team. I know what she worked on, and I know what she went through to get to that point. And that's what's really cool. But I don't think you can go to Final Fours without your best players being the most selfless and to being great leaders. And in both Lauren and in Kiki, we have that. And their work ethic also leads the way. And so that makes a huge difference. But I'm really more proud of the process of what it took to get there.
You touched on like the execution in the second quarter, but I don't think we've ever really seen Lauren get in foul trouble. So for it to happen on this stage, like what does that say about the mental toughness of your team that they responded?
Well, it says a lot about the mental toughness of our team. And honestly, she didn't play her best in the second half. She didn't make shots. She brought the ball, she had, a bunch of different things. She would be the first to say that. But to me, a year ago, that would have like sent her over the edge in terms of that she would have been so mad at herself and beat herself up so much that she wouldn't have been able to continue to defend, continue to lead, continue to do the other things that we really needed her to do. So when I watch her influence winning in so many other ways, even though she wasn't really making her shots, even though she got in foul trouble in the first half, it's a big deal. And that's, I think every game is going to create sort of chaos, going to create adversity, and which team can respond and have awareness of what that's like and find other ways to affect winning. That's just really cool to see Lauren do that, even after she struggled.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you guys too. I do. It's really big to me. Lots has gone into the regionals, only having 2 sites, all the different things, but you guys creating the stories, you guys continuing to push our sport forward and to tell those, it really makes a difference. So I want to thank you all for being here and for continuing to help us grow our game. Thank you.